To my YouTube channel. So in today's video we will be continuing our Jenkins lecture series, and so far we have covered how can we create a job and the configuration and all those things. So in today's video I will be covering what are the options a Jenkins build can have. So when we have a job and we trigger it, we build it, we get a build out of it, and what are the things you can do with a build. That is something which we will be covering in this video. So let's begin. So I have my Jenkins server up and ready in here, and we have this job as well. You can check out the previous lecture if you want to see how to create one and all the configuration information. But for the record, let me just show you. So far in this Jenkins job, I am executing this shell commands that will be listing the files and displaying the current working directory. As I hit the build button, you will see that there is a number with a has one come right here. If I refresh the same, then you can see there are a few permanent links visible here. So when I say permanent link, it means that this will list the information of the last build, last stable build, last success build, last completed build, and all those URLs will be visible here. So the permalink topic which I skipped in the earlier video, let me cover it as of now. So the last build permanent link basically holds the URL of the last build that has been executed. So if I'm hovering on these URLs, you will see in the bottom left, I have this URL presented like last build. Similarly, the last stable build. So if the build is unstable, if the build is failing, or if the build is aborted, then this URL basically display the stable build. So similarly the last successful build, and similarly the last completed build. So in our case we have only one execution, so that's why all the URLs are showing only one build, and we will be seeing the changement in these URLs in the same lecture soon. Okay, so now what are the options a build has in Jenkins? So as you know, as I hit the build now button, I have this execution completed right here. If I open this build, if I click on this ID, basically, so this is basically the build ID, #1, #2, #3. It's unique every single time. So as I click on this, I get this interface here. Basically, again, these things, the navigation bar remains same, but here we have a few options like status of the build that says okay, the build is successful, and then it display that who started the current build. It's showing my name. Then no changes. So let's say if your project is using some sort of GitHub or GitLab or any source code management repository, then it will show that these are the change that has happened between the previous and the current build, or the current or previous execution. Then it shows that when this build started, then it shows how much time this build has taken, and you can add specific description for the build as well. Test build, let's say, and save it. So it will show the description as well. Then again, the changes section will reflect only if the if there is some execution is coming or the trigger is happening from the source code management server. Then here comes the console output. So the console output tab basically holds whatever the execution or whatever the script or whatever the execution step you have defined. Those all get listed here. So in our case, the first line says that okay, it started by this user, then it's running as system building in workspace this. So a workspace basically means that where this build will keep its local data during its execution. Let's say you are putting some scripts, or you are doing creating some directories and all those things. So specific files related to specific build remains in their own workspace, and every single job in Jenkins server has their own workspace. So in my case, it's basically the Jenkins server home directory, and then the directory workspace inside that, and there is my job named as my freestyle job. So everything will be put inside this workspace only. So basically whatever I have written in the configuration, I was doing ls and pwd. So Jenkins creates this temporary shell script in the runtime and clean it once its execution is completed. So Jenkins has dumped all the content inside this shell script and executed this. So see, it only has two commands, ls and pwd. So it's executing the ls command and listing me that okay, there is no directory or no files exist in this location, in this workspace. And then it is executing pwd, and then it is listing that okay, this is the present working directory, which is workspace in this case. Then it says it is executing the post action, which we have said that clean the environment when the job is completed. So as of now we do not have any files in the workspace, so it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, in future we will be having some files, some GitHub repositories in here. So the clean workspace will remove anything exists inside this directory. And then the status of the job, that it is completed or failed or aborted or whatever the status will be. Then here's a short option to see the same in the plain text. So it will basically just add that capital text in the URL. If you go to the console output, you can see that it's just the console and it's added the text in here. So this basically is the same output in form of plain text. This can be attached to any reporting platform or any reporting tool for further debugging and all those things. Or if you just do not want to see all these options, the logout button and all those things, you can just leave it in plain mode. There are multiple ways to use it. It's based on your preference. Then we have the option to edit the build information. So we can basically give a display name to it, or we can update the description. So when I say display name, it means as of now it is being displayed as #1. So I can rename it to anything I want. Let's say I want to say test build 01 and save it. So now you see that the name has changed to test build 01, but again in URL it will always remain the value which was coming earlier. So you can edit either description or build display name from the edit build information field. Then you can also delete the specific build. I am not deleting it as of now because I'm rebuilding the same again. So you can see the display name has changed here as well. It has also added the description here. Now let me build it again. It takes a little time to reflect the changes because I guess it has a refresh time of 1 or 2 seconds, something like that. So now you see that if I do the refresh, it has changed all these URLs and they are pointing to the #6th build, the last completed and all those things. So now you will see there is another option that says previous build. This will open the interface of the last build. In our case, currently it has the 06th or the 6th build open. If I hit the previous build, it will open the 5 for me, and again I can delete as well. So it will be completely cleaned from the Jenkins. Now there is another option that says keep this build forever. So you can click this button, keep this build forever, and now whenever Jenkins will hit its automatically cleaning process via log rotation field, it will not clean the #4th build, and also it will remove the delete option from here. You can see there is no delete build option for the 4th build here. And yes, I guess that's all for the interface of a Jenkins build. I mean, that's how you can check the information about a Jenkins build. And in future video we will be covering Jenkins pipeline, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.